In a third world country like the Philippines, global aspirations such as a world where there is less poverty and hunger, where there is equal opportunity for all, and a healthier environment remain far from being met. However, the world does not run out of people who care to share. Companies today are piloting with multiple initiatives to give back to the community, no matter how big or small, as long as they contribute in ensuring the well-being of others and safeguarding the environment using sustainable practices. Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb, and this is Business Matters, where doing good is good business. The everyday task of bringing and picking up children from school is no stranger to Crizel Peñas, a mother of 7, except that she always comes to school with another purpose: to excuse her child from classes because of fatigue and recurring difficulty in breathing.
7 ang aking anak, si Jillian, pang-6. Pagbata ko kay Jillian, pagbusong ko kay Jillian, mabudlay pangginhawa. Hindi ako gawa ka pangginhawa, tapos lain pa matiyag ko. Tapos pagbata ko kana, 8 lang ka bulan. Tapos amo na tama ka gamay, so premature baby.
Jillian, the youngest daughter of Crizel, grew up frail and sickly. That's why she decided to bring her to a nearby hospital to have her checked. And that early they received news they knew would affect her for the rest of her life.
Na manaan ko nga may nagpa-check up kami sa doktor. Amo dito kag namanaan namon nga may buho ang ana nga korason.
Since then, Crizel would not dare take her child's safety to chances. She would rather let her stay at home most of the time, especially when she had severe cough and found it difficult to breathe.
Nung grade 1 niya, nag-aral siya ng ilang months lang yun kasi tumigil siya. Kasi sabi ng nanay niya, meron siyang sakit. Yung willingness niya at eagerness niya na mapagtapos, nakikita ko po sa kanya. Minsan gusto niya pumasok, hinihingal siya, yung bibig niya, iba eh. Tapos kahit ako, naawa ko sa kanya kasi kapag may klase, yung gustong-gusto ng bata na makapaglaro, nakaupo lang siya sa upuan niya. Tumitingin lang sa mga kaklase niya kasi alam niya na bawal yun eh.
Ang nabatsagan ko ay lungkot habang nagnunood sa kanilang nagtatakbo.
Crizel knew very well that time is running out. With her daughter's condition getting worse, she knew she had to do something to save her.
Ginigambalan ako ka doktor nga kinahanglan operahan gid. Hay hasta lang tana sa 6 ka tuig. Kay tama gid ka hangga't ang buho ka nga korason. Ti ko na mga 300,000 ba kung kudok ay gid kami kadya kung kuti kwarta bisan 1,000 gani haroson kami kakita. Pamugon man lang obra namon. Yung asawa ko ang bana ko ang obra na kadi aga pamugon, pang-uring para makakaon kami, makapaeskwela ng kabataan namon.
The couple was slowly losing hope. The amount they needed to raise for Jillian's heart surgery was far more than they could barely make in a year.
May ilang ko na nalyagaw ko na nga pag-abot sa heart center pag uli ka o patay imo dara. Labanan ko rin. Siyempre na naduraan ako kapag asa kay tungod way kami ti kwarta. Siguro yan na pala yung kanyang buhay. Ko na lang na tanggap ko na lang kung ano yung gawin ng mga Panginoon.
Wala kaming magawa, wala kaming choice, yung kung ano ba ang mangyari sa aming kapatid. Ngayon kasama namin siya o bukas wala na siya.
A According to a US-based medical journal, Jillian's condition is common in 8 out of 1,000 newborns. It is curable but requires an open-heart surgery and is usually performed in infancy or childhood to prevent further complications.
Itong sakit na to is a congenital heart disease. So, dalanan niya to mula nung ipinanganak siya. It's how the heart was developed bago po siya pinanganak. So, wala pong infection or any other na pwedeng sabihin na doon nang galing yung infection. Dahil sa malaki yung butas ng yung wall ng heart niya, so palagi siyang hinihingal, hindi siya makakapaglaro as what a normal child can do. So, hindi niya nai-enjoy yung pagiging bata niya.
Being a pediatric cardiologist, Dr. May Dagook is well aware of the Philippine Heart Center's project on making regional heart centers their satellite hospitals, something that will open more doors of opportunity for Jillian to receive the medical treatment that she needed without breaking her parents' backs.
The Philippine Heart Center has advised us because of their linkages with the Philippine Airlines. So, humingi kami ng tulong na kung pwede, tulungan nila tong bata na to, siya yung magulang niya na maidala namin sa Philippine Heart Center. So, sa tulong ng Philippine Airline Foundation, after nung lahat ng mga papers na na-assess siya, so naipadala namin siya doon at na-schedule po yung kanyang operasyon.
The country's premier multi-specialty hospital, Philippine Heart Center, strives to provide the highest standard of cardiovascular care for Filipinos of all walks of life, especially for patients in provinces with little or no means to travel all the way to Manila to have themselves cured.
Filipinos come all the way from the provinces to the Philippine Heart Center, and this is very difficult for them, especially the indigent patients. No? They have to borrow money for the transportation, for their accommodation, for the food while they are here. Dapat, no, ideally, no, pangarap talaga namin na itong care na ito, cardiovascular care, can be available at any part of the country.
The heart of the Filipino shines through the lives of our less fortunate fellows who are in need of immediate medical assistance to better their conditions and add quality to their living. Because the dream of giving Filipinos a fair chance at life is also something people from the country's flag carrier airline strives to attain.
Yes, well, we do partner with, for example, the Philippine Heart Center, as well as with different NGOs. Well, obviously, sometimes it's a matter of life and death for certain people. It's a matter of a whole new way of life for those who just need the proper surgery so that they can overcome their conditions. So it's really important. It's really it's really a service that we think can really benefit people who are really in most need.
A surgical mission in the province is not that simple. We have to bring the surgeons, the nurses, the perfusionists. This will entail expenses. And so this is where Philippine Airlines or PAL comes in.
Like other kids, Jillian is beaming with hope and dreams of becoming able to study, play, and be the greatest version of herself in the future. But things didn't go well because by the time she was conceived, she already had to carry something that would affect her whole being until she grows up. And where her parents soon found out about her ailment, it was as if the heavens struck them down. Until, as it turned out, the heavens only paved the way for them to meet the people who would enable them to give Jillian the proper medical treatment that she needed.
So, nung nakita namin siya, so in-advise namin talaga na mag-undergo siya ng open heart surgery sa Philippine Heart Center. Dahil sa kanyang sitwasyon na mataas yung pressure ng baga, ito po yung nagpa-decide sa amin na doon siya gawin. Kasi mangangailangan po yun ng intensive care after surgery.
Crizel wouldn't be any happier to receive the big news, especially when she found out that the country's flag carrier, which also happens to be one of the world's top best airlines, is collaborating with the Philippine Heart Center to bring our fellows the gift of life.
Because of our association with the Tanyan Key Foundation and all this network of other NGOs that are part of the association here in the Philippines, we are able to connect people, to connect a patient. Since we fly not only around Asia or domestically, we fly to the US, to Europe, to Canada, Australia. You know, there are medical facilities all over the world that can offer very specialized care, and that's how we can put people in touch with these experts.
Naghambal ka nakon si doktor nga maadto kami sa Manila ngay may libre ang kuan kapal, mahanda kami para nga maadto sa heart center. Makasakay kita sa eroplano. Magi kita sa mabok langit. Ti silbi ang bata daw nalipay man. Ay kuan ako nakulbaan nga ginapanumdum ko tong ginahambal ka tawo kanakon nga basi bala ka hindi din tanan bala makasurvive sa anang operasyon. Dako lang sulod sa isip ko, basi kung hindi do bala kung ba Ginoo, hindi na pagbula bata ko. Wala ran ang Ginoo nagasarag lakos Ginoo, pangamuyo lang.
The surgery required Jillian to stay for 2 days at the intensive care unit. Everything from transportation to medical expenses was shouldered by the country's flag carriers foundation and partner non-government organizations, which made this trying time more bearable for the family.
After operation, nakita ko yung pagbabago sa kanya. Una-una is nakita ko talaga na ang saya-saya niya at saka masigila na siya.
20 days after the surgery, bumalik po siya dito sa Iloilo. Tulong na din ng Philippine Airlines. Kami na lang po dito sa Western Visayas Medical Center yung nagpatuloy na nagtingin sa kanya after ng kanyang surgery. Kung hindi po siya naoperahan, magkakaroon siya ng Eisenmenger syndrome tawag doon. Mangingitim po siya. Kaya makikita yun pag mga in their late 20s or 30s na.
Such a noble thing for the government and partners to make extensive operations like this possible without causing a dent or a huge amount of debt on the underprivileged pockets. And with the help of companies willing to give out a hand, more and more lives are extended and more dreams are being lived.
First off, I'd like to thank, on behalf of the Philippine Heart Center, the Philippine Airlines for being there with us, trying to help the Filipino patients all over the Philippines. So far, we have done around 17 missions in regions where there are airports. Then the Philippine Heart Center is our partner. We have now been able to do missions in around 9 regional centers, so not including the Philippine Heart Center. So 8 including Mindanao, Visayas, and Northern and Southern Luzon. And Philippine Airlines has been with us.
A surgical mission in the province is not that simple. We have to bring the surgeons, the nurses, the perfusionists, and this will entail expenses in terms of transportation. So this is where Philippine Airlines or PAL comes in.
Certain criteria are set for patients to qualify in this program because aside from making sure that the country's flag carrier is able to provide the assistance they need, they also want to make sure they give it to people who are most in need.
I think that's impossible to describe, but I've spoken to a lot of PAL people for the first time or more than any other time how the airline can actually help people and really change lives.
In a developing country like the Philippines, medical help remains almost inaccessible for a great number of communities, especially those who live in remote areas. But due to the dedication of organizations and companies, nourished by the aim to bring these people the right medical attention they deserve, we shall see a better Philippines with healthier, happier, and more functional individuals who are ready to take the world by storm.
Malaking pasalamat ko sa nag-sponsor sa aking anak. Naawa nga masaya Kasi wala kaming binayaran doon sa heart center, na successful ang operation. Pasalamat ako sa Panginoon kasi nakasurvive.
Masaya ako kasi tinulungan nila ako para magaling ako. Hindi ako nagtakot kasi papagalingin nila ako. Matutuloy na ang pag-aaral ko.